And here we go, game number 2. Dimaga starting at the bottom right of the map of Daedalus, and in this best of 5 series he's currently in the lead with one map won so far. To the top left we have his opponent, and Dayshi actually started this game with the best comment ever, at least in the lobby. He said like, alright guys, once the shitty maps are gone, we are gonna have fun. And I think he was talking about the game that he just played on Frost and also about Daedalus Point, the second map. I personally have to admit that Daedalus Point is a pretty shitty map. At least in Zerg versus Protoss, it's absolutely imbalanced, and I don't think that Terran players like it too much either. I get the idea of trying just to go for something different, but having this big of a ramp here at the natural is absolute insanity. That is, you are not able to hold that, you're not able to wall that, and that allows for so many different strategies for especially Zerg players to be aggressive. And of course, it has a nice ring to it, like new strategies. Oh my god, nice! We're having a bit of different play there. But at the same time, one of the big problems that you have with that is that you kind of need that second base. Like, it's still one of the plays that you want to go for. But well, we're gonna see. Most players are gonna veto it right now. If you have a losers pick situation, most Zerg players so far have picked Daedalus Point if it's available. Let's just get a trend that continues, I guess. So, looking at this, we have now for Dayshi, the gas in the main base. Looks like we're going to have a Reaper opening for him again. Absolute standard. And for Dimaga, we have the hatch at the bottom of the map first. You could actually say it's the Russian standard. And I'm not talking about the vodka. I'm talking about Dimaga here, and I know he's Ukrainian. That's the entire joke here. We have the extractor started here for Dimaga actually before he goes into the pool, so wants to have the gas a little bit faster, and that is one of the things that we've seen quite a lot on this map. Going into a fast speed. Even 14 gas into 14 pool against Protoss is not unheard of. It's actually the standard build these days, because you want to have your speed links in the game as fast as possible so you can deny a natural of your opponent for as long as you can. To the top left now we have the first Reaper already leaving the base, and that Reaper is gonna get the scouting information off. Dayshi, especially on this map, wants to know what's happening, and he's probably gonna wait a little bit until he pushes out with his own command center. No, he's not. He's building it on the low ground immediately, but speed is gonna be started for Dimaga very soon, and there it is. Bam! Started right away. And, well, let's see how aggressive he is going to be with this. He's already in the lead, and if he's actually able to win on Daedalus Point, then he's in a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series and would only need to win another map to advance to the semifinals. On the other hand, Dayshi seems to be quite convinced that on the rest of the maps he can be, well, he can beat Dimaga and maybe be much more aggressive. He was promising himself having a lot of fun on the next map, so let's see if that's actually going to be the case. For now, he has to stick it out on Daedalus, and the double Reaper is on the hunt. They are on the hunt, and the drones are on the red list today. He's trying to take them down, and he gets one, and yeah, one, that's it. No end, the second one being saved, being morphed into an extractor, but already another base onto the high ground. So really quick triple command center here by our Terran player, who's still trying to occupy Dimaga as much as he can. The speed upgrade is about to be completed. That will also put a little bit of a stop to the Reaper aggression here, since those speed links will be able to hunt down the Reapers without any problems whatsoever. And there we go. Where can the... yeah, that's it. Bye-bye Reapers. I was just about to ask where can they jump, and there is no cliff in sight, so they are down right away. But for now we have that expansion started for Dayshi here, or nearly completed actually, at the natural. Also the starport in production. And in this particular game, drop play with Hellions might be an option here. But first of all, the Lings are trying to get in. Whoa, that was close. Dayshi in the last second utilizes this. One SCV goes down, but the Hellions, they both survive and they take down the Zerglings, so not a lot of damage done there. Bottom right, we have also another base taken by Dimaga. And Dimaga, I think, doesn't know about that base in the main. Yeah, he has no vision in here. He has absolutely no idea what is going on. Didn't have an overlord in position to really scout that. Command center still not floating to the low ground here. But we have now a few Hellions trying to be aggressive and trying to just utilize this big ramp to their own advantage, because it's very difficult for a Zerg player too to really make a wall work here. But with the queens that he has and the surplus in queens, he cannot just simply force his opponent's units back. Banshee is now being built. I do not think that we have a cloak upgrade. I'm actually sure that we do not. But we see for Dayshi here, or we saw a supply block here, so he needs to be a bit careful with his supply depot production. Once again, Zerglings in the natural here. A bunker would go a long way in this game for him. A bunker at the natural, just making sure that he has 1 or 2 marines in there, so that he has something against Zergling run-bys. Because what he would really like to do is be more active with those Hellions on the map. On the other hand, I have to say that the creep spread of Dimaga is not the best just yet. He's working on it. We're only 8 minutes into the game, so it's nothing like too out of the ordinary that he's still starting that. But at the same time, if you compare it to the creep spread of players like J-Dog, Targa, Scarlet, it's not on the same level right now. He doesn't rely on it this heavily. The third base is connected though with the main, and that is already worth quite a bit, since queens can now help out. The Banshee going into the main base, there's no Spore Crawler. We do not have Cloak on the other hand, so it's all about the micro here, and he's going for the Queen immediately. I highly doubt that he can take the Queen out on the other hand. Well, actually, to be honest with you, with all the other queens not even moving, one Queen is gonna die, one Queen is down, and apparently he doesn't realize that he's being attacked. There were a few Hellions trying to attack that third base at the same time he was active up here. He doesn't know. He just built a Spore Crawler. He actually apparently realized it, but decided that it's not even worth to just move back with those drones, and that resulted in 6 killed Harvesters. So if we look at the Harvesters killed in total, Dayshi already took down 9, and Dimaga was only able to kill 4. Double upgrades also for both players started. Double Evolution Chamber and double Engineering Bay. Dayshi and Dimaga preparing for the mid and late game, and we have also the tech into the layer here for Dimaga. Pretty veteran player. And Dayshi on the other hand, at the top right, at the top left here, now with a starport, and that's a very late starport if you think about it. That's like 10 minutes into the game, so it's not really the fastest starport that you can get here. He really prioritizes production, once again going straight into 3 barracks, and he's building a lot more than that. That allows him, of course, to get a couple of bio units out there to defend his third base, and that third is currently flying over to the mineral patches immediately. But yeah, at this particular spot, he can just get the Vikings now into the game, and then trying to be more aggressive with the Vikings, going into drop play on his own. One Viking is still chasing down a few Overlords, taking down another one as we speak, and there's a speed upgrade once again. Dimaga trying to get those Overlords back to safety, and also, of course, he knows that if he is building another base with Overlords, he can scout exactly what's going to happen, and he can make sure that he will be in the know, can defend it. But for now, we have also Hellions just moving across the map, trying with the help of the Xel'Naga Watchtower to shut down the scouting routine of the Zerg player, and Dimaga doesn't really know all too much just yet. In terms of overall and army supply, we have 73 worker supply for Dimaga, 62 for Dayshi, but the army supply is much better for the Tyrant player here. And resources lost already shows quite significantly that Dayshi is just playing the overall more cost-efficient game. That's something where Dimaga as a Zerg is not really too familiar with. He's the one who's usually up in resources lost. And now Dayshi is trying to move in and do a bit of damage there, but we have Banelings already morphing. It's going to be very difficult for Dayshi to actually accomplish anything with this army. He can take down the creep tumors though, and that's already a small victory in itself. The surround on the other hand on those Marines is imminent. He's actually losing most of them. He's not even trying to lift them up with the medivacs to move back. I guess that's mainly because we have so many murals here that are just waiting for an opportunity to take down the medivacs themselves. Another base to the right side is being taken. That's the 4th for Dimaga. And Dimaga is actually slapping this down pretty hard. He's moving in and forcing his opponent back. So must be a little bit disappointing here for Dayshi that he wasn't able to do more damage. Problematic is going to be that this is going to be the case throughout the rest of the game, in my opinion. Especially since we have +2/+2 already halfway done for the Zerg player, whereas our Terran didn't even start them. And that is usually where you shine as a Terran, that you get those upgrades so much faster. Now it started, but it's a little bit too late already. I mean, what are you going to do with this right now? He would, like, not too late already in the sense that he doesn't need it anymore and that it is absolutely useless. He wants to go into, of course, the 3-3 right away. The one thing that we on the other hand have is Dimaga with a faster 2-2 that gives him a timing window where he will be in a superior position in the fights. And then later on it also makes sure that if he starts his own Hive Tech pretty soon, he will be able to get the +3/+3 upgrades roughly around the same time that Dayshi does. And that then in itself results in a scenario where Dayshi just doesn't get this super strong late game where the Terran player has a massive lead in upgrades and can just go for it. So Dimaga still with resources lost, roughly even with the Terran player. The Terran player actually lost more than he did by now. But that is going to change things a little bit, since those Mutalisks were quite expensive and Dimaga did not really pay too much attention to those. But the drop is now moving in at the right side, is being shut down immediately. He's trying on the other hand. And let's see how exactly the rest of Dayshi's game is going to play out for him. Because in terms of like army size, he still has the lead. Thanks to his lower harvester count, we have him at 84 versus 67. Dimaga with good income is still looking for an opportunity. He is going into Hive Tech and he would love to buy himself a little bit more time than he actually has. Because Dayshi is now starting to move out here. He's forcing the creep back, dropping the scans, and he's trying for an opportunity to get a good engagement. Maybe move in somewhere along one of those bases. And talking about the bases here, we still have a decent amount of lava, but Dimaga is very notorious now for his very high drone count. 91. 91 is the amount of harvesters that he has. And there we have another attack with those Mutalisks. Moving in, sniping another structure, and always just hugging the vicinity of the area where the Terran player is active, trying to find out when he moves back with his army, and then just go in, do damage, move out once again. And the Terran player is trying to move towards the right side of the map. Here we go again. Where are those splits? They are too bad. Taking down a lot of units, but this is a very big bio army, and the reinforcements for Dimaga, they have to move in. Also the Mutalisks are on the way. This means that we are going to shut down those medivacs as soon as we can. A few of additional marines are being attacked here. Couple of shots against the Vikings, but he needs against the medivacs, but he needs to be very careful since the rest of the bio army is now moving in. Those reinforcements are still at full HP, dropping another stim here. Banelings moving in, great connect with the first one, but I don't think he has the army size that he really needs to make this work, and suddenly the Sutter Step is good enough to take down Mutalisk after Mutalisk, and Dimaga is at 170 supply against 160. One base is going down. The Mutalisk still looking for an opportunity, but it looks more and more like they have to fight here. They are forced into a fight. Zerglings from the back trying to lend their strength through this attack and lend the support to the Mutalisk, but the number in air units is down to 5 to 4. Nice snipes here by Dayshi, and a lot of damage done not only to Dimaga but also to his confidence here. He's at 123 supply against 137, and Bravo is really working his ass off here. He is everywhere on the map, having a few reinforcements, maybe a little bit out of position, which gives the Zerg player the chance to roll in with Zerglings and just surround and kill them. But besides that, nice moves today so far by Bravo. And I am saying Bravo a second time because I'm still a little bit stuck in my Code 8 cast. It's of course Dayshi, like, sorry. It's a bit of a force of habit. I was really impressed by the performance of Bravo today in the games against Linok that we saw in Code 8. So for some reason I got stuck with this. And yeah, it's of course Dayshi that is playing. Yeah, I have no idea why I just said that. Yeah, it's a little bit of force of habit. Sometimes you have like the caster's disease. You get stuck in your head with this idea. So my bad. I hope that Dayshi will forgive me here. But now we have this situation unfold in front of us that I was talking about a little bit earlier, with Dimaga having the fast tech into Hive and also the early upgrades. The +3/+3 is going to be done for Dayshi a little bit faster, but Dimaga will catch up with this really fast. Nice engagement here for Dimaga in the middle of the map. Both of them are still at the very similar supply, and the Medivacs escape, and that is very big. That's one of the things that you can always do as a Terran player. You lose Marines, but that's only 50 minerals per Marine. The important part is that you save your Medivacs, because they are the really expensive units, especially in gas, and they can fight another day. What Dimaga really would love to do is just move and chase behind those Medivacs and take them down one by one. We have now +3/+3 for both races nearly completed, but Dayshi is faster. Dayshi is faster here, and that is going to help him quite a bit. At least in the next engagement if he forces one. This time, Dimaga does not forget the chitinous plating, by the way. This time we actually have it in the game for the Ultralisks, and the +3/+3 is also on the way. Looking at resources, we have currently actually the Tyrant player a bit in the lead here. Dimaga with those extra bases also to the top right. And let's see. There we go, another job moving in, and that job already doing damage, taking down quite a few Harvesters. Harvesters killed over the course of this thing by now is actually 45. Dayshi is really active on the map. He was saying earlier that after the shitty maps are gone, we're gonna have some fun, but it looks like he's already having fun. And Dimaga probably not all that much, because he is having a tough time shutting down the drop play of his opponent, and especially the medivacs in general. Not only in terms of aggressive drops, but also just these evacuation missions that, yeah, Dayshi's medivacs are flying the entire time. Starting to the top left now, the town player is about to move out once again. He is getting so far ahead in economy, and that is also resulting in him having the better army supply. By a lot, actually. 40 additional army supply. 130 against 92. And we have Dimaga with a run-by attempt, and he's actually getting into the main base. And not only that, he's in the natural, he's in the main base, he's taking down Harvesters everywhere, trying to do damage here. And this is the mobility that Dimaga can use to his advantage. And he does. Harvesters killed now 45 against 21, and the numbers are currently rising for Dimaga. What is the town player going to do? He's currently moving back, at least with a lot of his medivacs, but that's not going to help him. He needs a little more than that, and there we go. The ground army is killing one Ultralisk after another, but suddenly Dimaga was able to close the gap in overall supply. He is very close to his opponent right now. Doesn't have too many other bases. He added another one at the top right, and if you just look at the map itself, it's currently 5 base against basically 5 bases. It's a very symmetrical scenario that we see there. Dimaga is adding more tech. He's not really happy with only the Ultralisk in the game. He wants to have the Broodlords too. And that is a very sick composition, but you have to be able to enforce that composition to guard it as well with additional units, and that is of course amongst others also the Corruptors, and for that you need money. And that is why we see all those bases, especially for the Zerg player. That gold base that he wants to get is not in this game. He needs to really just stick it out with blue mineral patches for now. Habitation Station might be a map that we are going to see a little bit later, but for now it's just taking base after base after base, and that spreads the Zerg player very thin, and this results in Dayshi having a lot of opportunities to drop with single medivacs to just spread him out. The satellite bases are very vulnerable, and that's exactly what we see here. But Dimaga already has a few units set up right over there as protection, and of course a potential force that could flank the main army. We have now Broodlords coming into play. Dayshi is, by the way, doing the same thing. We've been talking quite a bit about Dimaga, but Dayshi is also, with additional bases on the map, in a position where he can just get the extra income. I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't try to get those geysers over there so that he has the gas income, because he's floating quite a few minerals. His problem is, as usual for a Terran player, the gas. Drop in the natural, so not really a lot of a breather here for Dimaga. He's being attacked over and over again by his opponent. Another drop going strong here. Let me have a look at the resources lost. That's 20,000 against 25,000 now. Both of them just really going hammer at each other. They are at each other's throat here in those fights, and especially Dayshi. He is doing so much right now, just trying to get into a good spot here. He has another force right over there. A little bit afraid of those Ultralisks. I would be too. But at the same time, the drops at the bottom right, they drop between the third, the natural, the main base, trying to do damage, kill even a few more Harvesters. And in regards to the income, Dimaga is falling a little bit short, because Dayshi has those mules, he has those extra bases, and it's just working so super well for him. The one thing that we see Dimaga do right now is commit a little bit more to the infestors, to energy units. He has 3, is going up to 7. But it feels a little bit like, if you watch the minimap over the course of the game, that Dimaga is falling back a little bit. He was climbing the middle of the map for a very long period of time, and is now the one who is being forced back into the vicinity or the area of his own bases. He's trying to move out with this army once again, and he has also the resources to rebuild it, so he doesn't need to be really scared of anything that happens here. But I feel that Dayshi is starting to get a lot cheekier and a lot more confident in his abilities to take this game. He knows fully well that he's already down Wombat in the series, so a win here would be very important. And he is now forced to go up against medivacs once again. We have Dimaga trying to just force this back somehow, and he gets a really good fungal off. There are also the volleyballs infest the Terrans, and both medivacs go down. That was a huge win. That was taking down quite a lot of units. That was really well executed. And Dimaga, looking at supply once more, is still a little behind in army supply, but he has a big support here. And of course a lot of fans that are also cheering for him. Yeah? Nice fungal here. Not hitting too much, but it's a good start. Fungals in general, he has all the resources yet. And this is a lot of infestors. With fungals he can really pin this army down, and then the Ultralists are gonna go in for the kill. Yeah, looking a little bit tricky right now. That's a very sick army that we have for Dimaga here. That's a very scary army. Ultralisk, Infestor, Broodlord. That is so super scary. And Dayshi, he tries to get Vikings. Daedalus is not really a small map. Here comes the Terran player trying to flank, trying to go in from the fingers. A beautiful fungal pins the Marines down. The Bioforces locked in position, and the Ultralists take them out. Now suddenly Dayshi is dropping in supply. He's dropping super fast here, and he's doing what he can against those air units of his opponent, but the Ultralisk alone on the ground are already doing the damage. And 70 supply reinforcement here by Dimaga. It's looking strong for him. That battle seems to end in his favor. He's doing as much as he can here, but it's very, very dangerous. I mean, Ultralisk, sorry, not very, it's very dangerous, of course, since he's losing too much. It's very difficult for him, that's what I wanted to say, since he cannot really get a good position in the game, and he cannot really get the army size nor the composition that would work against what we are seeing here. So at this point, Dayshi is already dead in the waters. He doesn't have gas anymore, which means he is completely relying on his marine production, and that's nice and well in itself. But he needs more than only marines. He needs medivacs, and those he can't get just because he doesn't have the gas. Everything is being attacked here. The Zerg player is everywhere, doing the damage, taking down bases, and just making sure that there is no additional gas mining going on for Dayshi. Meaning we will not see additional medivacs, and without medivacs, bio is just not feasible. It just doesn't work. Once again, the bases here are going down. Dayshi still at 130 supply, but the game kinda is over already. We have the army supply with 126 against 75. That's nearly a 60 supply lead for him. And looking at the unit counting station, 40 marines, that's the big bulk of the army. But with 40 marines, if you're up against banelings and also the double scout, so the fungals that we have here, fungals, the ultralists, the double engagement with lings and ultras, it's just way too much. At the bottom left of the map, we now have also Dayshi losing another source of income, and that is kind of the last one. So right now he should realize that this game is over. He's just trying to make something happen with the 120 supply, SCVs or no SCVs. That's not going to play a role anymore. He is trying to dodge a fungal here, and the fungals, they are definitely not perfect, not by any means. He didn't get the big fungal off here, but he is separating a few units over and over again, and this reduces the army size of Dimaga's opponent. So very well played here by Dimaga. He's taking a crazy lead. Another stim has been used by the bio units on the retreat, and it looks like Dayshi really wants to stick this out until all of his units are gone. It's only another 46 supply, and he is finally deciding that he had enough and leaves the game. A 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series now for Dimaga here at the Esports Venture Cup.